Hey everyone, it's Blake. This is For These Are My Thoughts, and this is a very special edition of For These Are My Thoughts. Today is March 16th, which, if you didn't know, is Stone Cold Steve Austin Day. Hey everyone, it's me, Blake. This is a very special edition of For These Are My Thoughts. Today is March 16th, and today is a day that some people celebrate as Austin 316 Day. What that means is Stone Cold Steve Austin, my favorite professional wrestler as a kid growing up. I don't really watch wrestling anymore, but as a kid I did, and Stone Cold Steve Austin was my favorite. I loved that he beat people up, gave the stunner, flipped the bird, drank a bunch of beer. We've even drank his beer, the Steve Austin Broken Skull IPA from El Segundo Brewing Company. It's always right here on the desk. When we were planning the Christmas special for this past year, and we were thinking about what to put in it, and when we decided on the idea of rewriting Twas the Night Before Christmas for These Are My Thoughts edition, we knew we had to include Stone Cold Steve Austin because, again, I just think it's kind of funny. I think he's kind of a cool guy. We today have for you a special showing of the For These Are My Thoughts Christmas story featuring the one and only Stone Cold Steve Austin.
'Twas the Night Before Christmas, For These Are My Thoughts edition, written by Blake and Hannah Brockman, and illustrated by Blake Brockman. 'Twas the night before Christmas, and deep in the house,
I was snuggled in bed with my super hot spouse. I heard something fall off the wall. What the crap? I was just about to take my long winter nap. I got out of bed, I just couldn't sleep. Nothing was working, even counting sheep. As I walked to the office, I said to myself, I really should just hang this up on a shelf. When out in the street, I heard in the distance the sound of 66 Chevy C10 pistons. Away to the door, I walked on with leisure. I opened the door and said, What's this, a freezer? I walked back inside with a sniff and a shiver. The noise from outside made the window panes quiver. I put on my coat and zipped it up tight. Who'd be driving so late on Christmas Eve night? The lights of my neighbor's display were so bright, the street was lit up, everything was in sight. When what to my sleep-heavy eyes did appear, but a bald man in a pickup drinking a beer. He pulled in the driveway and opened the door. I'd never seen someone this massive before. He wore cut-off jorts and a black leather vest. I knew who it was, and I felt oh so blessed. It was Stone Cold Steve Austin, and man, he looked great. He looked just like I remembered back in 1998. He got closer and closer, black boots on his feet. He said, I'm Stone Cold Steve Austin. I'm glad we can meet. I stood in the doorway, mouth fully agape. Our eyes locked on each other. There was no escape. I was frozen in shock. This can't be what it seems. This has to be one of my really weird dreams. It isn't, you big yellow son of a bleep, he said as I stood there in awe, half asleep. I thought we could talk, maybe swig a few beers. Do you have any linies? Oh man, it's been years. Hey, I'd love to do that. Nothing would be funner, but first, sir, oh please, would you give me a stunner? Before I could blink, he kicked me in the gut, spun around, stunned me, and I lay on my butt. I couldn't stop smiling, I giggled with glee. All right, how many beers you want, 2 or 3? I'm a beer-drinking pro, he said kind of gruff. 2 or 3 beers ain't nearly enough. It was then that I saw in his big brawny hands was a cooler of ice and a whole bunch of cans. Which one do you want? He inquired of me. Anything's good if it's not from A.B. We sat down, drank, and talked. I couldn't believe. It felt like a movie titled Me and Steve. We talked for hours like good friends reunited. I was overjoyed, content, and very delighted. I thought maybe he'll be on For These Are My Thoughts, but I really don't like being put in these spots. Each time I began, the words died on my lips. But with him on the show, my views never would dip. Then all of a sudden, we heard on the roof the sound of a bunch of little deer hoofs. Steve Austin, he smiled, jumped, and ran to his truck. I have to get a huge Wisconsin trophy buck. He got to his truck and pulled out a crossbow. Hell yeah, it's time for some venison. Let's go. He yelled to me, Kid, come on, come hold my beer. He aimed, fired, and wham! He killed Santa's reindeer. It fell off the roof. I was in total shock. Steve Austin said, Kid, help me carry this hawk. We loaded the deer and up on the roof. Santa shouted in anger,
Steve Austin, you goof! You just shot my reindeer! I've been out all night. Come at me, Stone Cold. Let's have us a fight.
As Santa came down to give Austin a smack, I was so shocked to see that Santa was jacked. He wasn't some short and chubby old elf. He looked like he could lift a house by himself. Santa struck first as they fought on my lawn. All I could say was, "What the crap is going on?" The two battled and fought without a single care, and I couldn't believe it. I heard Saint Nick swear. I stood frozen in shock as their battle roared. I wondered if I should grab my phone and press record. But just as I did, the tussle was ended. Both men stood tired, energy fully expended. Austin said, "Hey Kringle, I know what to do. We'll go deliver the presents, me and you. I'm sorry I shot one of your top reindeer. Let's stop all this fighting and drink us a beer."
Steve Austin, you're right. It's Christmas Eve. Pack up your truck, and then we will leave.
They loaded the truck with Santa's big bag of toys, all for the world's good little girls and boys. Santa sprinkled what he called Christmas dust, but it looked a whole lot like fancy sawdust. The truck then changed from a Chevy 350 C10 to a pickup sleigh hybrid called the Two Wise Men. They hitched up the remaining 7 reindeer, and of course they cracked open another cold beer.
Hey kid, this was fun, but I need to go,
Steve Austin said sadly and kind of slow.
I sure hope your Christmas day isn't wrecked.
I said, "Don't worry, it's been weirdly perfect."
Steve Austin, let's go. Get your butt into gear. We don't want a repeat of what happened last year.
Wait, this happened last year? I said, slightly verbose.
Hell yeah,
Austin said.
Shot the one with the red shiny nose.
Then he got in his truck and they turned to the right. Austin said,
Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night. Kringle, come on, pass me another beer. Ho, 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 ho. Are you sure we should be drinking and driving?
The end.
Thanks for watching the video. If you laughed, if you find yourself relaxed, subscribe and like this video, comment below. Thank you again so much. We will have a normal video coming out this Sunday, as we always do. And until then, these are my thoughts, and I'll see you soon. Thanks again for watching. Use the circle button to subscribe to the channel and become part of the think tank. Click the left box to watch more episodes from this season of For These Are My Thoughts. Click the right box to watch a For These Are My Thoughts episode chosen just for you.